Good evening. Now, we all know sitting here that our world's idea of what is good, what is right, and what is fun is a lot different than what we in the church believe is good. And one of the foremost of those things is feminism. Our world promotes this and even glorifies it in our culture today, but it's not something that we as Christians should buy into. Now, you may know that women should remain silent in the churches, but do you really understand why? Do you know the verses? Do you understand them? And are you ready to talk to someone if you're ever confronted about that? Let's look at a couple of verses tonight to see how to do that. 1 Timothy 2:11, "Let a woman learn in silence with all submission. And I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man, but to be in silence. For Adam was formed first, and then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived fell into transgression. Nevertheless, she will be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith, love, and holiness with self-control." Now this verse tells us, first of all, women are to remain silent. But second of all, it gives us reasons. And those reasons are, Adam was formed first and then Eve. Adam was not deceived, but the woman was deceived. Now let's go to Genesis 3:16 to see the precursor to this reason. "To the woman he said, I will greatly multiply your sorrow and your conception. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be for your husband, and he shall rule over you." You see, after the fall of man, men and women took different roles. They were equal, but different. Men were preaching, and women had their role. Women were not to start preaching, and men were not to start taking the woman's role. Think of an analogy for it. Imagine a business. You have a CEO and many vice presidents. The CEO is God. Now, you could say a woman is the CIO, and a man is the CFO. What if we only had chief financial officers? How would the job of the chief information officer get done? You have to have a healthy balance for a harmonious gathering of the church. Now, if you're not fully convinced that men and women are equal but different, go to John 4:21. Jesus said to her, "Woman, believe me, the hour is coming when you will neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem worship the Father. You worship what you do not know. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews." Jump down to verse 24. "God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and in truth." All throughout Jesus' ministry in all four Gospels, and even here, we see he had a radical treatment of women. He treated them as equals. However, he knew, as we said before, there was a line in the sand. Women on this side, men on this side. Equal, but with different roles. And neither should cross over that line laid down by God in Genesis 3:16. And we should not do the same. Now, in conclusion, it really doesn't matter if we like it or not. Even if men and women weren't equal, which we've already seen that they are, it wouldn't matter if we didn't like it. Because God tells us in Isaiah, through the prophet Isaiah, that his ways are higher than our ways. So if you question God's judgment, you're questioning someone much smarter than you, infinitely smarter than you. Do you question his judgment that you're saved through baptism? Probably not. Do you question his judgment that you shouldn't be preaching and teaching? You might. Revelation 3:16 tells us, "So then, since you are neither hot nor cold, I will vomit you out of my mouth." We have to choose a side. Either you trust God's judgment in everything or nothing. And I encourage you to trust him. And in conclusion, I saw a quote that illustrates this whole topic very well. "The real reason women aren't allowed to pastor, or to preach in our instance, is not because they're easily manipulated or too emotional for the pulpit. No, it is simply because it is not their assigned roles as women." Tonight, if you need prayers on this topic, or if you'd like to learn more about it, or even if you'd like to be baptized tonight, or if you have any need of any kind, please come forward as we stand and sing.